Okay, I guess I'm going to start off my story. When I was 19, I read Ayn Rand, or however you pronounce her name. All I know is that it was a terrible decision. I grown up basically fostered in the belief that while religion is an important resource, comic books are the ultimate truth. And I thought that someday, if I had the correct experience with radioactive material, I might actually become a superhero. That never happened, but I still held on to the belief that I had some kind of social justice purpose to pursue of a heroic nature. Apparently it's punching microphone stands, but I also, though, had this deep desire to produce great art. And I was always a bit worried about the tension between the two. You know, it seemed like a tension to me. I wondered, you know, well, does doing art really just amount to making pretty distractions for people who want to pretend that injustices don't exist? Or does it actually amount to calling people to arms to change the world? And then I read The Fountainhead, which basically said that not only does making art make you a noble and honorable human being, but in fact, on top of that, it means you now have the right to be an asshole. In fact, if you're not being an asshole, you're probably not that good of an artist. So, I tried. Unfortunately, my parents raised me to not be an asshole, which was really troubling to me because I started wondering if that meant I was a shitty artist. And I kind of actually went into a depression from it. I stopped talking to my friends because I was afraid that if I was around them, I might start acting nice and find out that I wasn't an asshole. I pretty much just hung around in my dorm room making paintings of urinals and stuff like that. And I thought, well, nobody wants to see this, so that means it's revolutionary, right? I mean, I also made a painting of a nun in a see-through nun habit that my roommate kept trying to masturbate to, but that was just disturbing. But, yeah, sorry. But, I mean, I didn't find this out till later. He was like, yeah, I love that picture. And then when he told me why, I was like, oh, God, stop. But I went into this pretty deep depression, and I was just really, I realized, I was like, you know, maybe I don't have that, I don't know, like Julius Caesar-like killer instinct to revolutionize the world whether or not it wants me to. And I was supposed to go to study abroad, and see, the thing also is, at the same time I read My Name is Asher Lev, and there was this, I had this tendency at the time to actually think that anybody who had written a book had written it because they knew what the truth was, and that's why they bothered. And so I was like, well, this guy said that, I mean, I was like one of those people who's like, I saw it on TV, except I was like, I saw it in print. You know, I was like, people who say they saw it on TV are idiots, but people who read it in print are geniuses. You know, and I was like, I want to be a genius, so I believe it. And so I read in My Name is Asher Lev that there was this part where somebody said, you know, you should leave your neighborhood and go out and explore and see all these great things. And he was like, no, I'm an artist. And as part of being an artist, I only want to fully experience the reality that I'm already part of my neighborhood. And once I've described that, ooh, I will be ready to move on to bigger things. And I was like, well, shit, you know, I was about to go abroad. I had signed up. I was ready to leave. And I was like, no, I can't go abroad because if I'm just going abroad for more distractions, it means that I haven't fully embraced where I come from and taken into this neighborhood that I'm a part of. And that means I'm just some kind of, like, experience slut, you know, and not really an artist. And so I stayed. I canceled going abroad, and I worked at I kept going to school, but working at this movie theater where we were playing Robin Hood, which meant that I listened to Everything I Do It For You endlessly. Until I was like, everything I do because I want to kill Brian Adams, or whatever his name is. But But finally, I reached this point where I was like, you know, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to go abroad, and I went abroad. And on the way there, this guy said to me when I was on the plane, he said, you know, we were going to France, and he goes, you know, I was thinking to myself a while back when I moved to Florida with my parents that, you know, I would miss the seasons, that it wouldn't be good enough, you know, because I wouldn't have that kind of nobility of having all the seasons. But then I realized, what's so bad about the weather being nice all the time? And I thought, yeah, what is so bad about things being nice all the time? Why does suffering have to be a prerequisite for anything important? And I got to England and then to France, and I read this one book that really kind of set me at ease, and it was called Fear of Flying. And the reason why it set me at ease, it's about this woman who has this sexual awakening and realizes that the way she can achieve inner peace is to achieve the zipless fuck, but which is like sex without guilt. But eventually she realizes that's also sex without, like, tenderness. But there was this part in it that really meant a lot to me, where she said that she realized that she had always assumed that everybody who wrote a book was, like, touched by a god. And once she realized that that wasn't true, that they were just people telling stories, she suddenly felt free. She felt free to actually take them as stories. And so for me, that was actually kind of a sacred moment, ironically, to realize that just because something meant something to me didn't mean it had to mean everything. And it freed me to just let it all be a really entertaining joke, including the fact that I had made 6 months' worth of paintings of urinals. Thank you.